Hey, welcome to Rob Rides Cargo Bikes. In this video, I'll be recapping and analysing the 2024 VELO Berlin Bike Festival cargo bike race. So let's take a look. So we're back for another race video, this time at Tempelhofer Feld for the VELO Berlin Bike Festival. There's a few different formats to cargo bike racing, but here's a quick rundown of the race format and rules at this particular venue. Up to 4 riders race in a heat, through to quarterfinals, semi-finals, and then hopefully finals if you're fast enough. Each heat is 4 laps. The first lap is an empty, you load your cargo on the second lap, complete 2 laps loaded, unload on the final lap, and then finish the race empty. There are 4 sets of identical cargo, so each rider has the same load. In this case, there was a Euro box, a pool noodle, 1 filled 5 litre water container, a crate of filled 1 litre water bottles, and a folding chair. So as we line up for the first heat, we can see that I got the number 1 plate. I like to think it's because I was hot favourite for the day, but in actual fact it's just because I registered the fastest for the race. Hopefully I'll live up to my number, but let's see what happens. This was a very tough race with lots of fast riders on the day. The pace was really high all day. There's a few messengers and couriers there, so very experienced riders. The track was a little bit different to previous tracks, and it was a lot of fun. We'll have a good look at that in this first heat now. Talking about the first heat. Here we go. It's a heat of 4 riders and the top 2 go through. Okay, there we go. Great start for me there. First into the first corner. And almost a slight gap straight away. We'll get a good look at the course. There was this washing line with inner tubes and t-shirts hanging off it. Those inner tubes actually stung quite a bit if they hit you at just the wrong place. And then we go into a fast S-bend and then over a cable bridge into quite a long sweeping 180 degree turn over another cable bridge coming up. You can see the other cyclists to the left there. There was other events happening throughout the day. Lots of racing and test tracks and stuff. So really cool venue, lots of good stuff going on. And then through the trees there, you can see the wind blowing the trees. And into the load area now. So I'm staying outside of this green line. That's really important. If you go inside the load area, then you get a penalty. And I was trying to load as much stuff as I could on the pallet to minimize the amount of time I'm going between the bike and the pallet. So there you go. There's the Euro box. There's the 5 litre jug of water and the drinks pallet. There's the folding chair. And Martin taking a cheeky inside line through the load area there. That was quite funny. And again, as in previous races, struggling with the pool noodle. You can see Malte behind there in third place has left the chair unfolded there on his conky bike. I thought that was pretty cool. And yeah, I accidentally blocked him. That wasn't intentional. I was just trying to get away as fast as I could. And then off we go into second place. So through the sweeping bends there. And then now you'll be able to see over the cable bridge that it jolted the cargo every time. So I opted to secure my load this time because I felt that if I didn't, I would lose my load every time we went over the cable bridge, which is what happened in practice a few times. But you can still see it moving around quite a lot, and I was quite worried about the pool noodle falling out. And as we come around now into the third lap, you can see there was a really good crowd. Lots of people come out to watch the racing, which is one of the first events of the whole festival, so that was great. And actually what was also cool for me was quite a few people came up to me saying they'd seen my videos and enjoyed them, so really stoked on that. I mean, I'm just doing this as a bit of a side hobby, but yeah, really stoked people are enjoying the videos, so if you were one of those people that came up to say you enjoyed it, then thanks a lot. Really appreciate it. Thanks for watching. So Martin's gone quite far up the road, but Malta staying close in third place. So top 2 go through. I'm not super worried. I've been practicing the loading and unloading before the race started, so I feel like I've got a pretty good unload coming up. So coming into the unload. Off with the chair there straight away. And because I'd put everything in the Euro box, I was able to take it all out in one go and put everything back on the pallet so that I was able to have a really fast unload. And then into second place, or maintaining second place, into the last lap behind Martin. I know I don't have to pass Martin, but I know that Malta is also fairly close in third and is pretty fast as well. So just keeping an eye on that. And that's Martin up ahead, who announced the collective bike fair race a couple of months ago. Really cool community feel on the cargo bike scene in Berlin. So shout out to Martin for that. So I'm trying to save some energy at this point. The wind on this back straight was absolutely horrendous. Like, I'll just turn the sound up now so you can hear it. So I know I don't have to pass Martin. I know I'm in the semi-final. And that's Hans Vogt on the left there, the actual maker of the bullets. So that was super cool. He came out to watch. And there we go. Cross the line, second place, into the semi-final. So here we are for the semi-final. So lineup of 4 riders. Top 2 go through. But honestly, it felt like a final already because this was a really strong lineup for a semi-final. Here we go. And a bit of a re-rack there. Arnie wasn't fully ready to go, so we re-racked. You know, that's cargo bike racing. We're trying to keep it honest, trying to keep it fun. No one wants to win because someone else wasn't paying attention or someone else had some mechanical or something. You want to win fair and square. So we re-rack, all good, and we'll give it another go. Okay, so here we go, really starting this time. Another good start for me there, first into the first corner. I think I moved over on Martin a little bit, maybe a little bit unfair. But then you can see Arnie in the rear cam absolutely beast moding through those corners and pushed Martin down into third place. So I'm in a pretty good position here in first place, feeling pretty good, but you can see Arnie is pretty close behind. So like I say, top 2 go through. But at this point, I'm already thinking about my load area, trying to get to the first load area, and then as Arnie comes past me here, I remember on the day being actually surprised. I had no idea that he was that close, and he was absolutely flying. So there we go, I'm in the second cargo position now. I prefer to be in the front because then you get a clear ride out. But there I am, trying to put everything on the pallet as much as I can, and then loading it over onto the bike instead of messing about going in between the bike and the pallet all the time. Pool noodle goes in sort of okay this time, and then on goes the seat. Messing around a little bit. And then you can see Martin and Lexi going ahead. And then I managed to overtake Arnie then on the load. So now I'm down into third place. Top 2 go through. And I know both Martin and Lexi are really strong riders. Both got messenger courier backgrounds, psychologistic backgrounds. Very fit riders. And I'm at this point thinking, okay, I just need to stay on the wheel and try and hope that I can make some kind of move later in the heat. And then here we are over the cable bridge. And you can see the pool noodle's a bit more in the wind this time. I'm worried it's going to fall out. And of course, if something falls out, you've got to stop, you've got to pick it up. And you can see it hitting the other pool noodle there. And I'm just thinking, okay, let me just try and stay on the wheel. Hope the pool noodle doesn't fall out because there's not really much I can do about it now. And off we go. So you can see there, the start of the third lap, Lexi manages to overtake Martin. And I was able to catch up a little bit. So as I've already mentioned, the wind was so strong this day, and I'm right on Martin's wheel, and I'm trying to race a bit more sensibly, thinking, okay, I'll use Martin as a windbreak here, I'll stay on his wheel, stay out the wind. Like, I'm pretty confident in my unload at this point, because I've been practicing it a little bit before the race started. Again, let me just put the sound up for the wind. So really strong wind. Using Martin as a windbreak, I can see he's suffering in the wind there. And as we come into the unload, my plan is to just unload as fast as possible and try and make up a position. So there we go, really fast out with the chair. And then because I've put everything on that Eurobox, I can take everything out in one go. Pool noodle sort of life of its own there, but managed to do it fairly quickly. Yank my bike back and managed to make up a position on Martin on the unload and into the final lap. So now I'm just hauling, just trying to stay in second place. I know Martin's a really strong rider. I know I don't have to pass Lexi because the top 2 get through, but I know Martin isn't going to give up. So I'm kind of trying to balance saving a little bit of energy for the final, but also getting into the final. You can see the camera there coming in from Julian from the Cargo Bike Lovers, who's also making a video from this race. So I'll link to that at the end of the video when it's live. Just shove that out the way. And there we go, you can see in the rear cam that Martin's not close enough. There we go, across the line, second place, into the final, which after that heat was, yeah, a bit of a relief. Some really good racing in that heat. So there we go, after some really close racing, I made it to the final, and honestly, to get this far already feels like a win to me. The field was so strong, the pace was so high all day. Like I say, getting into the final on this day just already felt like a win. So the lineup for the race is actually Marcus, who won this race last year, so he's definitely one to watch. We've got Jens, who's been on beast mode all day, super experienced, and he also helps run and organize the event. And then we've got Lexi, who just beat me in the semi-final, who also has the courier background. So very, very strong field. But like I say, I'm stoked just to be in the final at this point. Here we go. So another great start for me, first into the first corner. I think at the next cargo bike race I do, I might have to insist on a whole shuttle board because I'm pretty sure I'd win it. So here we go, first place, first lap, but Jens is right on my tail the whole time. Through the S-bends there into this nice sweeping 180-degree corner. And then coming around this corner, riding into the wind honestly felt like hitting an air brake. It was rough. And then you can see Jens actually having to brake there through the pool noodles. And then I'm remembering at this point, Arnie insiding me up to this point in the semi-final, trying to get into that first cargo load area. So I'm trying to protect the inside. But Jens, total beast mode, just goes around the outside, beats me into that cargo load area, the preferred one. And away we go loading. I'm trying to load everything on the pallet, but you can see behind Marcus is basically done, and he is just gone. And there I am messing around with the pool noodle again. It's like this thing is my nemesis, honestly. Can't get a break with the pool noodle, shoving it in. You can see Lexi's going now as well. The Jens is ready. Both Jens and I go in at about the same time. Jens beats me into this corner, but then I get him back on the next corner. Second lap, third place, but you can see Jens again right behind me, not giving an inch. And then another brave pass around the outside, especially fully loaded because these fences did not look very friendly at all at these speeds. So there we go, I'm in last place now in the final, not giving up, holding on as best as I can, and just trying my best to keep these guys in my sights into this wind again. Ooh, that was rough. So at this point, I'd like to make a call to action to all the women watching this video and all the women at the bike shows. Please enter a cargo bike race. They are so much fun. You're hugely underrepresented in the racing scene. There was only one woman who entered on the day, but there were so many women watching and at the show, so please just get a bike from someone. You'll be able to borrow a bike almost certainly from someone at the race and just enter and have a laugh. It's a lot of fun. I definitely would highly recommend it to anyone. So at this point you can see Jens has overtaken Lexi for second place, and I'm thinking if I can stay close enough and get a really good unload, I might be on potentially for a third place. So I'm trying to rely on my unloading being good, as it has been in the first two rounds, to try and make a position. So I park with my front wheel facing out, so I've got a free route out after the unload. Chair comes out okay. Grab the pallet, and I do it again. Drop the bike, just like I did in Collective last year. And then you can see in the rear camera the pool noodle falls off the pallet. So I have to stop to put that back on because everything has to stay on the pallet until you cross this orange line here. So I've dropped the bike twice, not giving up. Maybe there's still a potential tiny chance for third place. Come around the corner, and then I can see Julian from the Cargo Bike Lovers camera is hanging off my brake line. So I have to grab that and then throw that into the cargo load. Sorry about that, Julian. Into the sweepers, and I can see there that Lexi is like way too far ahead for me to catch, knowing full well that when I go around this corner there's going to be a big face full of wind. So there we go, outclassed, outpaced, and I simply wasn't good enough for a podium on the day, but I am super stoked to have got in the final and been in the mix. I think if I hadn't dropped the bike I might have been able to challenge for third, but you know, what would have been. But again, like I say, super stoked to have even got in the final in this race with such a strong field. Crossed the line there, my arm in the air, my head held high after putting in the best effort I could. Really stoked, had so much fun, really happy to have reached the final in this race. Shout out to Marcus for getting the repeat win, that's a really great effort. Jens for a hard fought second place while running the event, and Lexi for making taking third place look effortless. Shout out as well to all the other riders throughout today for some great heat racing. Thanks to Ben for announcing and continually getting my name right, much appreciated. Thanks to the Cargo Bike Race Team for hosting the event as a passion project, and to VELO for supplying a great venue to race at. So I've come to the conclusion that if I ever want to win one of these things, then I'll have to stop with the post-race kebabs, tone down the post-race beers, and really think about different ways to load my cargo. But then that's not really the point, is it? It's supposed to be a laugh, and it's supposed to be fun. I hope you enjoyed this race review, and if you did, please subscribe to get more in the future, and check out my older race review videos on the channel where you can see me dropping my bike in other places. I'm not sure what races I'll get to next, or even what races are going to be hosted, but I'll try and get to as many as I can. See you next time.
Fahr das Ding nach Hause, Markus. Dritte Runde, Abstand halten.